What I'm facing is a shoot the messenger strategy. What we're facing is a shoot the messenger strategy, essentially smearing me as a racist, a sexual deviant, and or a mentally ill drug addict. Now, I make mistakes every day, but I try to do better. I don't abuse drugs and alcohol. I don't have an alcohol or drug dependency. I've never been treated for it. I've never sought treatment for drug or alcohol dependency. Uh, on occasion, I have a drink of wine or a beer. In the past, I'd used cannabis related to a serious autoimmune disease for medicinal purposes. Um, I don't do that anymore. I take a drug test every 90 days to prove that I'm not on drugs, okay? I will continue to do so. It's on my blogs. Now, if I was a drug addict or a mentally ill person, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish in life. Um, for instance, I've done some really uh, important work in microbiology and molecular genetics. I was accepted into the laboratory of the scientist who literally wrote the Bible on molecular genetics. I mean, I went into business with the head of the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. These are not people that you can lie to, con, and they don't work with the mentally ill. you know? I mean, you can't fake your way into this kind of situation. This is my personal history. It's verifiable. I can prove it. There's more detail on the blogs. I joined the hantavirus team at Texas Tech University in 2002. Um, I've gotten a degree in business management. I worked my way through school in my 20s and didn't take a student loan. I have the equivalent of two different college degrees. Uh, I've written books, songs, made films. I've taught school. Um, I taught myself a foreign language. I've traveled around the world. Um, these are not just the accomplishments of a racist, a sexual deviant, or a mentally ill drug addict. You can't con your way into, a business relationship or a laboratory or doing this kind of work. You know, the the paradigm of working your way through school and not taking any student loans and working full time, going to school full time kind of thing. I mean, that's not the resume of a con man or someone who's mentally ill. Okay, so you can believe people, anonymous people who are making these claims that you don't know, or you can, hear me out and just make up your own mind. Um, Now, if you want to believe that I'm a racist, a sexual deviant, mentally ill drug addict, you're free to do so, but it's a lie that's being used to change the subject away from what are essentially crimes against humanity and what eventually will become to be known as the crime of the century. This is life and death. So I only ask a fair hearing. I ask people to make up their own minds for themselves and believe your own eyes and ears and not what someone you don't know is telling you. And um, all the time you spend trying to defend yourself against anonymous accusers is time and effort lost, while innocent people are being tortured and murdered. They're using the shoot the messenger strategy because it works. When I've heard people in the past, public people, say publicly, I'm not a racist, a sexual deviant, or a mentally ill drug addict, it sounded suspicious to me. And frankly, I'm as guilty as the next person. But, um, it's time to think for ourselves. It's time to make up our own minds. And it's time to give weight to, the personal biography and the facts instead of just outrageous statements by anonymous persons and some very explosive statements and disturbing videos. The truth is that I'm a good guy and that I'm telling the truth.